Due to the closures on the canal because of the low water levels, we've been stuck in the same place for 2 weeks now, which is pretty unheard of for us. The recommendation that we got from the people on the Narrowboat at the start of the Cheshire flight, recommending Wheelock as a good place if you had to get stuck, was absolutely spot on, because we're only a few hundred yards from the CRT services and the further infrastructure. The CRT have now opened the locks in front of us, but only for a short period, so we need to make the most of that. And because I'm about to become a grandma for the second time this year, I don't want to be too far away from my daughter, because I am hoping that I am going to be present at the birth and I don't want to miss that experience. It does mean, however, that HRH is on his own, single boating for the first time, which is a bit of a concern. He has got quite a lot of form for injuring himself. We will flash up a few images for you to look at, so I do recommend, if you are squeamish, look away now and I'll tell you when it's safe to look again. Okay, all the gory stuff has gone, so you can see his handiwork is pretty impressive. I'm a bit concerned that he's going to get himself into all sorts of scrapes when I'm not here to supervise, so do me a favour and keep your eye on him.
Woo! Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah, I thought I could smell something a bit sewagey. Water treatment plant. Got a good size one, actually.
Right, 20 minutes in and I've just seen my first kingfisher. Cool.
cool, a moggy convertible. Smart.
That's interesting, it looks all twisted.
Right, coming up to the first lock of the day. Wish me luck.
So that's Josh sort of tied up. Lock number 1 of the day. In my favour, result. All this open. There's often just enough difference in water level to necessitate a little open of the paddles.
Usually one's enough, it's
Just, yeah, you can sort of see, can't you? It's okay, mustn't forget to sort out the ground paddle. And I've got 2 options here. I can either walk the boat in, I can either walk the boat in using the centre line. Forget to put the catch on. Yeah, walk Josh in, or alternatively I can drive in.
okay. Next task is to make sure we've got the centre line
where we want it. And we're going to open the paddles. I'm not going to tie Josh up because I don't want the rope as he drops down the lock. I don't want the rope to go tight because that will cause us some problems. So I'm just going to let him drop. When he drops, because we're going down, he should nestle up against the front of these gates. So I shouldn't have to worry about him sort of bobbling around in a single lock like this.
Anyway, that's the theory. Let's see what happens.
Right, so far so good. Josh is behaving himself, he's dropping, he's left a centre rope for me, so I've got some sort of control of him. The centre rope, I've left it on the same side as the ladder, so I can get down onto him. So the next thing I would be thinking about is, right, how am I going to get Josh out? I can either drive him out, go down the ladder and drive him out, or I can walk him out using the rope, which is already with me. However, on this lock, this bridge is solid, So if I walk him out, when I get to this sort of point in the bridge, I've got a rope. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with the rope? And the only thing I really can do with the rope is throw it on his roof and let the momentum carry him out. But don't really fancy that, so in this instance I'm going to open the gates. Annoyingly there are two small ones. Go down the ladder, get onto Josh, drive him out, stop him round about there, come back and close the gates, jump back on him. So bit of a faff. Hey ho. First things first, we'll test the gates and see how far off we are. We'll have a quick look. Nearly there. Okay, so we're ready to go. So I'll go and close the paddles and then open the gate. So note on that one, the way I pulled the gate towards me because the gate blocks the bridge otherwise. On this one I'm going to push it from the other side. So they don't get stuck on the bridge. God, these little gates are so easy to open. Okay, so successful. Now they're all, you'll see Josh is nestled here. I could have put him on the lock landing where the bollards are to the left, but I've chosen not to do that. I've left his rope here so that I can always run down and grab it and sort him out. And there are lots of different ways of doing that. If it was windy, I certainly wouldn't have him nestled here. He'd be on the lock landing all tied up, but yeah, I'm calmer. Well, it's calmer here, it's blustery at the top, but calmer here. That sort of works, so be careful not to slip. Back on we get. Woohoo! Block number one done. Right, onwards and upwards. Right, I've just noticed on the map something that I did know but had sort of forgotten, which is at the next lock 68 there's a CRT notice saying that there's I think the lock landing's closed actually. Something to do with landslip or unstable ground, so not quite sure where I'm going to be getting off. The bad news about a lock landing being closed when you're on your own is that that's where the bollards are. So if Sue was here, I could just drop her off anywhere and just float around in the middle of the canal and just sort of control the boat. But when you're on your own, really, you're relying on the black and white bollards on the lock landings to sort of tie the boat against whilst you're going and setting up the lock. So I might not have those, but it'll be what it'll be. Pretty bridge ahead. Watch the chimney. winding hole.
Right, I see a moving boat ahead just before we get to the next two locks. That's a good sign. Hopefully this should be in my favour, so nice to see someone else out. That stunning old house building in the middle of all of this, just surrounded it with boxes. What a shame. Oh, is that Jacobean? Josh is tied up again. Be a good boy, Josh. A bit blustery here actually on the top. Now mind you, I suppose with these feelings. There's a bridge over the weir. Right, see what we've got. So lock in our favour, no surprise given the boat's just gone through. Levels dropped just in the very short time. What's that, a foot? Maybe a foot and a half. So that will simply be that the lock gates over there are leaking. So when the lock was full, they're leaking, it's dropping this. So once again, I need to drop these paddles, or one of them at least. Right, I think we've got a boat wanting to come up, so I didn't check. So she's just come up with the dog and said hello. I didn't check there was anyone at the other end of that bridge, over that bridge. Basically because the lock's in our favour, so we've got all the water, so it's in our gift to utilise it. Right, lock number 3 ahead. Alright, let's go and see what we've got. This feels nice. God, it's blustery here. Should look back on Josh. Yeah, he's okay. Right, it is in our favour, but as you can see again, the water levels drop through the leaky gates. So, right, onwards. Right, so while that water's draining in, I'm going to take a look at what we've got here and plan what I'm going to do. So on this occasion, if I want to use the lock ladder, it's on the right hand side, so the non-tow path side, so I'm going to need to move the rope over. How would I do that? I know, so I could walk Josh in on this side and then throw the rope over him. And I'm going to operate stuff from over that side. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It's a relatively deep one, so, but it's blustery, so I'm not going to walk him in. Right, decision. I'm not going to walk him in because it's blustery and I don't want to have to fight the wind. So I'm going to drive him in. Decision. Done. Right, minor amendment to plan. It's taking a while to fill up the last bit of that lock, so I've come over and opened the other ground paddles. So as you can see, I've got both open just to try and speed things up. Not really worth doing unless, like today, you're on a bit of a time frame. So anything I need to do is when I hop over this side, I need to remember to come back and just open that ground paddle. Don't fall in. I'm under strict orders, strict instructions today to not fall in. I'm going to try and heed those instructions. Look at that. I'll show you how the wind grabs hold of things. Look at Josh pulling against the rope. Gosh, this bridge is super low. Wowzers. Look at that. I'm not surprised that's all battered. Many a chimney in that. It's one of those staggered height bridges. Yeah. I think this lock beam might need replacing fairly soon. What do you think? Right, so we're just about to come up to a fairly interesting bit of the canal. That was lock 70, in front of us is 71. And to our port side, which you'll see in a minute, is where the Shropshire Union, otherwise known as the Shroppy, cuts into or goes off towards, branches off from the Trent and Mersey. But the first bit of the canal, just before the lock there, is called the Wardle Canal, and it's the shortest canal in the country at just 154 feet. So it's the Wardle Canal, lock, and then you're onto the Shropshire Union. So hopefully I'll get the camera going and you'll get to see the country's shortest canal. Blink and you'll miss it. This bit of the canal here is super wide. I like sheep these things. These will do it in a second. I'll be able to help themselves. There we go.
Here it is then, keep your eyes peeled because this is the Wardle Canal, the shortest canal in the UK network.
Now that's an interesting way of doing a pram cover. I like it.
Cool.
Getting warm. There's Joshy.
He is just pushing the bow of the boat. It's not a problem if you've got to go left anyway. Nice lock setting this. Very nice lock setting. Right, next lock is just round that corner. Right, got 73 and then 74 directly in front. Do it. So what I've done here is, rather than tie Josh up, I've just sort of left him there with the rope. The bow's sort of tucked in against the lock, so I don't think it's going to cause any issues. And we'll just fill this thing up. Well, so far so good. It's now 1:45 at lock 73 hour.
Yeah, so I think we're at lock 73, 74 directly in front. 75 is the one they lock, big lock it's called. So
So I don't assume that's deep. Yeah, so got an hour and 45 minutes, so it's feeling doable. So
Got to think a bit more when you're single manned. It's yeah, can't just switch your brain off. Can't just drive up to a lock landing and sort of plan a bit more.
sort of think about, yeah, what you're going to do and how, yeah, it's more tiring, definitely. Come on, Joshy, nudge back, pal. There we go.
Certainly does it. Reminds me, I must sort that fender out.
Right, now this time I am going to pull Josh through rather than drive him.
So, see how that goes.
Gosh, so easy to trip on stuff. Be careful. I promised Sue I wouldn't fall in today. No, I didn't promise her that, because I can't promise that. Just promised I said I'd try. So that doesn't make sense, does it? I said, I promise I'll try not to. Right, gate closed and then paddles open. That's a boat wanting to come up, so that's worked out well in their favour. As long as he realises I'm here. It's quite a short pound in between, so we don't need two boats in it. Welcome to Middlewich.
Ooh, smells of fresh paint here. Lovely. So that behind us was the home of Anderson Boats. I've not heard of them actually, but we've got a decent fleet. I'll flick this round, you'll see. Oh, what a fabulous home that would make. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Church behind it. I wonder if Middlewich was famous for salt. I should write that down. Oh, the colours on these trees. Oh, isn't that just fabulous? Oh, I hope that comes out on camera as the eye picks it out, but that is so vibrant red. More on there.
here we've made it, the big lock.
75. Don't know why it's big. It's got a pub.
So I've just had a debate with myself about whether this lock is a double. I think it is, if you have a look.
I'm pretty confident Josh will go through there, so, well, find out now, won't we? Oh, there's an audience on the left as well, there's a pub, so great.